Oh my God, you're deaf again. You're blind. You're mute, not deaf. There you go. Now you mute me.
Did I mute me? Did you mute me? Hey, it's Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday. Today's show, 100% off.
Episode 179 of the EriDan Film Festival. My glasses are dirty. And it's a pleasure to welcome you here yet again.
You need some of this.
Night of I have some. Mine is the discount version. The discount. But lovely little glass cleaner. Skin shine. Oh, screen shine.
Whoosh.
This has a little koala. Look at this.
Mine's from Canada.
Anyway, right here
commercial
in Pittsburgh. This is Eric Schiemer and Dan Rosenberg once again bringing you the EriDan Film Festival for your entertainment pleasure as we talk entertainment. It's the end of the month again. November gone. And the end of the year pretty much almost upon us.
It's all holiday movies from here on out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride. Tonight we will be talking about Frasier, the TV show, NBC must-see TV.
It was part of must-see TV.
Yeah, but was it though?
I don't know. So real quick, I just want to say, did we do a movie the last weekend of December last year, or a TV show? I mean,
we did. No, we did not do a TV show. We did movies all month, December long, all month.
So the next TV show, which we'll pick tonight, will be for the end of January.
That is correct. So
you have 2 months to watch whatever show we pick tonight.
So, if you pick a one series show, people might be able to watch the whole thing if it's only got one season.
Yes. Speaking of one season, I don't know what that means.
Oh. Are you speaking?
I guess we can announce we have people you can, because normally I think on the TV shows we have everybody here.
That's true. Sometimes we do just pop people in, but we can do this because it looks like a magical night. But you can join us to talk about Frasier, and if you join to talk about Frasier, you might get the opportunity to help pick the TV series for January 2024. So, should we get started?
Start bringing people in, baby. There they are.
Oh, look, it's Sam and Diane.
Yeah. Oh.
Just like that.
Yeah. Just like that.
You sure?
No.
Were you, No, you're not sure?
No.
I don't know. Are you a Lilith?
No, I don't have her brain.
Mm.
I don't have Diane's brain either. So I think I'm Carla.
Carla Cortelli. Wow.
Wow. There you go.
This is Danny DeVito.
Oh, geez.
There you go. Hey, I don't know. I thought Carla was the brains.
I think
Speaking
she
of
was.
the brains.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
So does that mean you're the cast of the Tortellis?
Loretta.
Oh my God.
No,
that guy.
Goodness.
Is everybody tired? It's post Thanksgiving.
No, absolutely. It's post Thanksgiving.
Fan has overtaken the film festival. It's going to be a very sleepy evening. Mm-hmm. It's all right, Dan. I'm listening.
You do have the right microphone.
I do have the right microphone. Speaking, I don't know. Joy?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm surprised to see you.
It's so nice to have you here tonight. It's so nice to have you here.
Together.
We don't even have we don't have title cards or anything. It's just Frasier. It's,
the one and only.
The one.
We're going to talk about Frasier, a spinoff of Cheers.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were watching the 2023 version, right?
Oh,
Yep, exactly. You should have got the whole thing in by now.
this is our first spin-off show outside of Star Trek, which
Yeah, that doesn't count.
I'm assuming this is anybody's first time watching Frasier.
It was my first time watching
Oh,
Frasier.
interesting.
Oh,
Wow.
I've never seen Frasier, and I've always kind of mentally confused it and Seinfeld, having never seen either of them. So it's nice to finally know what Frasier is.
Wow.
I've also never seen Cheers, so I have no basis for comparison.
As long as you're not getting confused with Martin, that would be a shock to the senses.
Oh, she's seen Martin.
Well, of course, yeah,
I'm a huge Martin fan.
Well, Kelsey Grammer was on a TV show with Martin Lawrence of all people. What a strange casting decision that was.
Hey, Adam.
Yay.
Adam's almost home.
Here. That's all right. So,
of course,
what's your
was-
take on
Was that I'm here
You're the-
Al or I'm here AI or what was he?
He's here in AI, yes. So, Amanda, your first time seeing Frasier, what was that experience?
Yeah.
It was interesting. I mean, it was relatively easy to follow hopping around episodes, which was nice. I watched 5 episodes.
Nice.
I watched the pilot, and then I watched the second 2 on Scott's, or the next 3 on Scott's list, and then I jumped ahead to the one that he said was his favorite. So I've seen a very random subsample of episodes.
But I think that it is a show that you can easily do that with.
There's not a lot that changes. Yeah.
No, I thought. Yeah, I mean, I didn't dislike it. It was a fairly inoffensive sitcom. It was a fairly typical sitcom in a lot of ways, but it was a fine sitcom. I feel like I was happy that not literally all the episodes were just 2 brothers who can't get along fighting with each other, because most of the episodes that I watched were about 2 brothers fighting with each other.
I was surprised that Scott put The Innkeepers down as one of his favorite episodes. To me,
I
that
didn't
was
make it through that episode.
that was an
It was
awful
rough.
episode.
Yeah.
That was just horrible.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was a great train wreck. I kind of liked it.
it was hilarious because I remembered it.
That I don't like that kind of humor.
Just
Yeah.
the
I mean,
hard plot to be suddenly
Ham
over the
Radio
rest
was
of
very funny, but I thought The Innkeepers was just a drag to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree
It
with
was
that.
so inconsistent with the rest of the series. I
And it
think.
was slapstick. It was so much slapstick,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
not what I
It
think of
lost
when I
me.
think of that show.
It lost me almost instantly.
Really.
I watched the pilot and the first 3 episodes, and I didn't make it to the 3rd episode because 3 minutes into the 3rd episode, it's like, we need to teach Dad some culture, and we're gonna take him to fine dinner and teach him about art. And it's like, oh Lord, I'm not watching this.
Well, one thing I thought was very funny was 2 of the episodes that I watched and 2 that were on Scott's list were the Innkeepers and Ham Radio. But if you break them both down, they have the same plot.
Yeah. Yeah.
The plot is that in one case more with Niles, but they organize some big doing, whether it's buying a restaurant or putting on a radio show.
Mhm.
Frasier, because he's overly controlled, drives everyone professional away, so all of his friends have to pitch in to fill in the roles of the people who should be cooking the food or should be doing the acting.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And then finally even they lose patience with him and everything falls apart.
That's true.
That's the plot of both of those episodes.
Yeah.
And the dinner party one wasn't too far off. It was mostly them trying to organize a dinner party and them driving away the caterers and then them just failing to figure out a guest list and just kind of they just didn't do it.
The fun thing, the dinner party was a little bit. The fun thing about the dinner party was, it was very much like a stage show. Really, that entire episode took place just in the apartment,
Mhm.
and it was really mostly just the 2 of them with Daphne coming in and out, with Martin coming in and out. But it was really very much a 2-man show for that episode.
Yeah, I feel like the first 3 episodes that I watched, I wasn't enjoying it as much, and I did enjoy because I watched the dinner party one, and then I watched Moondance. I think that was what it was. It was the one that
I didn't get a chance to get to that
The
one.
that
Yeah,
Scott
that was on
said
my list.
I think that was the one that Scott said was his favorite, so I
Yeah.
figured I should watch that one. And that one I enjoyed more because it wasn't just about the two brothers being unable to get along. Because after the pilot, it was the one where we're going to write a book together, and then they can't functionally write a book together because they hate each other. And then they bought a restaurant, and then they kept giving conflicting orders to the cook. So of course it fell apart. It's like, is this? And so I was worried that this was like all the show was just two brothers fighting with occasional side characters. But
with some project falling apart. And the one thing I did like about the dinner party was that even though they were sort of they were more in sync in that one. They weren't bickering as much. And the fact that they almost came to grips, I was like, hey, it's okay that we're really close, only to realize maybe we're just a touch too close. But that was pretty solid.
Well, I think the thing with this sitcom is it was very formulaic.
Mm-hmm.
Like every
very
season
true
had a certain show that was kind of like a show another season.
Yeah.
It wasn't as formulaic as, say, like Gilligan's Island, where they almost get off the island.
No. Or the Brady Bunch or something. But it was still for a very big sitcom with stars that won bunches of Emmys.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it felt like the cast was very small for this one. So if you're not like vibing with the dynamics between two of the characters, there's very little else for you to enjoy.
Well, sort of like New Girl. That's one of the things I liked about it was, although New Girl didn't last as long, obviously, but for 11 seasons, the same core 5 was there for Frasier, and they were on every single episode. Which is impressive to do that for 11 solid years. Mind you, I'm sure they were paid quite well, but yeah.
I'm sure they did okay.
But there's a few things about the show. One, Kelsey Grammer had a deal already with Paramount after his success as Frasier on Cheers, and I'm forgetting. He was going to be like a motorcycle guy. Like when Cheers ended, they go, okay, we gave him a development deal. We're going to do this. We're going to do that, and they finally just said, yeah, how about you just do Frasier? And he said, they go, it's either that or nothing. He goes, okay, let's do Frasier. Because they basically realized that he was the perfect character to spin off.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why,
Really
like I said, for Seinfeld, Newman would have been the perfect character to spin off.
Well, the other thing, too, is they did a relatively clean... I mean, yes, they brought Lilith in occasionally. Maybe once or twice a season for some guest shot. And they certainly had references to Lilith and to his son, Franklin. But for the most part, other than sort of the intro in the first episode, they didn't really tie it into Cheers, which is probably smart, to constantly be harping back to, hey, remember that other show was on that was even better? It's not what you want to be doing.
So how did his character in this one compare to his character on Cheers? Was he essentially doing the same sort of deal, or?
On Cheers, he was a little more of a loser.
Yeah.
He was certainly intelligent. He was a successful professional, but he was just sort of almost a drag dog kind of character. Like,
I see, okay.
Sitting at the bar talking about his troubles. And in this, he's more in control, for better or worse. He's certainly perhaps the worst person to be in control of his own life, but that's probably the biggest difference.
Okay.
And he talked about in Cheers that his father died, and then he said, ignore that for this.
Well, somebody got shot.
Which is smart. I was talking to Eric just yesterday, in fact, about how one of the things that I think young Sheldon was saddled with was that they seemed to feel like, okay, we already talked about how Sheldon's father cheated on his mother and then died of a heart attack. All right, so we got to build to that, I guess. No, forget it. Don't worry about the continuity. Do what makes a good series. If you find out that people love the father character, don't kill him off.
Right.
You don't have to be beholden to that.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting stats or trivia on IMDb. One of them that's kind of funny is that David Hyde Pierce wine or opera, and John Mahoney, who played his dad, is the one who introduced him to both of them.
Wow.
Like John Mahoney was into wine and opera,
Yeah.
and I believe was also gay in real life. And David Hyde Pierce, I'm not sure if he was. I think he was, but he played a straight person on the show.
Well, interestingly, though, one of the episodes that wasn't on Scott's list that I watched was The Matchmaker from season 2, which was a good episode, but you talk about your sort of cookie cutter sitcom plot. It was that he has a new boss at the station who's a handsome, sort of erudite guy, and he thinks, oh, perfect guy to set up with Daphne. And you realize within 2 minutes the guy's gay. But Frasier, of course, doesn't realize it till the end of the episode. So he keeps having all these things like, come over to my house for dinner. And the guy, of course, thinks Frasier's hitting on him. And they just do that for the entire episode. It's still pretty enjoyable. And he's convinced that Niles is gay and the dad is gay. Wait a minute. You're saying your dad's not gay either? No, he's oh, come on, but Niles, right? No, really. So it's very sitcom-y, but it was a fun episode.
Yeah.
John Mahoney was younger than I am right now when he was playing a 60.
He was like 54 or something like
wow.
that when he was
A little bit younger, yeah, when they started. And I was just like, and it's funny because I never realized how fake his gray hair was until now, watching it now. I don't know why.
Well, Margaret was cracked up because we tried to watch the Christmas episode from season 1, which is Miracle on 3rd or 4th Street.
Oh.
And Amazon is messed up. And that episode and the episode that follows it, you get the same episode when you watch both of them.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
So we watched an episode entitled Guess Who's Coming to Breakfast, which is where his dad brings a date over and she spends the night. And there's the comment in there about him being 64 years old. Margaret cracks up because, was it 63 or 64? Because, I'm just shy of that.
Yep.
Anyway, he's retired, walking with a cane. Everybody joking about whether he could possibly still have a sex life and all of this. And it's
You're like, this is not funny. This is not even remotely funny.
But they did do a good job of casting the show.
Yes.
I mean, John Mahoney is excellent. He's good in everything he's in. David Hyde Pierce was certainly the breakout surprise of this. I had never seen him or knew who he was until this. And he was, I guess what I read was originally he was intended to be sort of a more minor character like Roz or Daphne. The main crux of the show is going to be Frasier and his dad. And they realized at some point in season 1, this is a character we've got to leverage a lot more. And so he became a much bigger part of the later scripts.
And is he the only character that knocks on the door every single time? He never lets himself in. Other people will just open the door. He always knocks first.
That was another thing, is they never intended Maris to be an off-camera character. They did it originally because they hadn't cast her yet, because they really wanted to be very careful in the casting, but they didn't want to have a comparison to Norm's wife, Vera, from Cheers, who was an off-camera character. But they found it so funny and easy to write for that they said, okay, fine, let's just keep her off-camera. The only thing that really changed, certainly Niles probably changed the most, because he's married to Maris. He seems to think he's in a happy marriage, but every time you hear about how Maris treats him, you realize this is not a happy marriage. And certainly everybody else can't stand Maris is sort of what comes out slowly. Right. And they're sort of polite about her because of Niles, but then he, of course, divorces her and is smitten with Daphne. And that sort of then carries on through the rest of the show. I mean, and Roz gets pregnant at some point, but other than that, Frasier never really changes.
No.
Wasn't he kind of smitten with her from the beginning?
Yeah.
What's that?
Niles was like smitten with Daphne from day one.
He was, yeah. You can tell. And in fact, in the episode where Frasier's trying to set this gay guy up with Daphne, Miles doesn't realize the guy's gay, so he's really jealous, and he's like really, really unpleasant to him at the dinner party until the guy comes out in the kitchen and confronts him, saying, "Did I ever do anything to you? Why are you so mad with me? Are you upset about me dating your brother?" And Niles goes, What was that? And then Frasier does something to tick him off, and so he doesn't tell the guy.
Nice. I will say, from the interesting thing I was rewatching the pilot, having remembered the show, was how solid every character was from
Yeah.
the pilot.
That is a good point.
Yes.
Like,
That's an excellent point.
You know, so many shows you see the pilot and it's like, oh, this is before they really flushed out this character.
Yeah.
This is really, you know, before they decided who this character was going to be.
Yeah,
And
and
it's like,
in season 1 of Cheers, Cliff wasn't a mailman; he was a security guard.
right. You know, so I do find that interesting that this they knew what they were doing when they made this and they stuck with it.
Yeah. Well, it certainly
Yeah,
helps that it was successful. Unlike a lot of sitcoms that take a season or two to get their audience, this was successful out of the gate.
Yeah.
So that certainly helps.
Both Jerry and George had a different father. The first time their fathers were on Seinfeld.
That's true.
Yep.
Well, they weren't fathers, so of course they had different fathers.
To me, this is not a top tier sitcom. To be blunt,
No,
it's a good sitcom. It's an enjoyable sitcom. It's the sitcoms. I said this to Eric yesterday. Sitcoms that, oh, that's right. There's a new episode of like season 2 or 1 or 2 or 3 of the Goldbergs. When it was early seasons, it was like, oh, great. There's a new Goldbergs tonight. I can't wait to see it because I loved that show. And there were a few shows that were like that. This was sort of the second tier of, oh, there's a new Frasier on tonight. Is there anything else on? No.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go Frasier. That'll be fun. I enjoy it.
It's because it was comfortable.
Yeah.
It was well written, I think, and it formulaic, and you just knew.
But it never really surprised you.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't must watch TV. It was like might as well watch TV. It's like, well, yeah, we might as well watch Frasier. All
Tune
right.
in for Could Watch TV.
It's good watch.
You know, the comfort idea is spot on. It's one of those shows that at night, if nothing else to watch, you put on Frasier.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
If you're on an airplane and there's Frasier, all right, I'll watch.
Yeah, you
It's
can
one of
watch
those. It's comfort TV for sure.
And it made me laugh out loud rewatching it because I haven't watched it in decades. So it's funny. It is funny. It's not always hilarious, but it's a good show. I think it's well written.
I don't think
To Adam's
Canadian
point, though,
people-
I don't think that's a problem. I mean, if the other characters are good enough, who cares who is the focus of the series?
Yeah.
True, Jerry was not really the focus of Seinfeld.
Right.
I mean, yeah, very true. And the biggest example of that is probably Family Matters, where Urkel eventually became to dominate the entire show.
Did I do that?
You go where the audience is, you go what the popular culture is telling you people are watching about, and that's, you know. And plus, I think Frasier, you know, Grammer having come from an extremely successful ensemble sitcom, there were tons of episodes where, you know, Ted Danson was not the center of that show.
So
let's
have
see
you
if
watched
there's
the
any other-
new seasons of Frasier?
I have.
Season.
Oh,
No.
I actually think just like Will and Grace when they came back,
Yeah.
it's actually done pretty well.
I mean, at least he doesn't have a mullet now. I mean, that's kinda nice.
So that went away
Miles and
pretty-
Eddie were the best characters. Niles and Eddie.
The original Eddie, who was Moose, this was one of the trivia things. When he was 14 when the show did their finale, and his handler brought him out to the audience at the curtain call, and he got a big round of applause.
Aw.
And like he
And
actually
died on
he
stage.
enjoyed it, and then he died. Yes, he croaked like a dog. This is interesting. I never heard of before. His acting method that he called requisite disrespect.
Yes.
He'd rehearsed each scene only once, and he would not learn his lines until a few moments before each scene was shot. It's exactly what I did, but I didn't know that was a thing. I just couldn't remember my lines.
Well, I think he portrays it as an acting technique when in reality he's just lazy.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey
he didn't
Grammer.
learn his lines until right before they were shooting, so they were fresh.
Yeah.
The casting
Which
crew that
apparently
used
was
the stars did not
the
like
guest stars found very uncomfortable to work with.
Well, I would think
Yeah.
so.
it. Say, how can you not know your lines?
Oh, wow.
There's BB Newirth,
There's
yeah.
Wow.
Lilith, the new one.
Yeah.
But is she the only character who's made appearances in the new one? Because, you know, David
Yes.
Hyde Pierce didn't come back. It would make no sense to have Roz come back because he's in a different profession now, isn't he?
Yes, he's now
You
teaching
don't
her.
hang out with your old coworkers.
Yeah, so for Roz not to be there makes sense. His dad would have died by this point. So really, I guess
Yeah,
it
he
makes
did
sense to not have
mention
him.
that.
Yeah.
The only one they really should have brought back if they could, and maybe he just didn't want to do it, was Niles.
There you go. There's your cast. There's your cat there. Of
Well,
the
you've
new
got a pompous English guy, son, and then you've got Niles and Daphne's son.
Mm.
And
Franklin.
initially, the show was only going to be on
Doesn't-
Paramount Plus, and then they end up, because of the actor strike and they had already filmed it, they put it on CBS, and it did okay.
How did we miss that?
Well, there's probably a real, I mean, not just lack of time filling, but for audiences, if you're trying to see it, it's September, I want to see, or October, a new show to watch, there's nothing. Unless you want to watch new episodes of bad game shows or reality shows, there's no new real content. So,
No, not until the spring.
but Hulu is
Well,
running a
that-
deal right now, 99 cents a month for the next year if you sign up for Hulu.
Wow.
So $12, you can watch. You have Hulu for the entire year. Ends
I would
tomorrow.
sign up for that if I could get that deal.
Yeah, just go to Hulu.com. It shows up on their homepage.
I already have it.
Max is having a slightly less good deal. Max's is $3 a month for 6 months.
Oh, I thought it was only 2 months.
No, 6 months.
So, Adam pointing out that he enjoys the supporting characters. He finds Frasier to be meh.
Mhm.
Right, exactly. Niles is the best character.
Niles was the breakout star of the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I agree with that too, but I've not seen it. But I agree that it would probably be weird to watch it and nobody else is on except Frasier.
Especially since it's a complete cutover. When you're watching a show like Cheers, yes, eventually, Coach dies, so they have to bring in Woody.
Right.
But you have 6 other characters, so one transition isn't that bad. Then Shelley Long leaves, and you have to, bring in
Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley as what's her face, and
Rebecca.
you can sort of get away with that because again, you've got so many other established characters.
Mhm.
In this, you've just got Frasier and nothing else. Admitted, it's been a long
But they-
time, but
Love Frasier.
It does work. The way they
Does
do it does work.
Mhm.
okay.
Because
I
you
don't have a
can
judgment
watch it.
on it. It's just a strange concept.
If you watch the finale first of the regular, which is what I did, I went in, I watched the last episode, and then this kind of dovetails right off of it 10, 20 years
Oh,
later.
that's cool.
Hmm.
So everything's explained. You figure out what's up with his son. Niles. I didn't realize Niles and Daphne named their kid David. Like
I
David
don't
Hyde
remember.
Pierce.
I don't even think I made it that far when the original series was on to see actually Niles and Daphne get together. I'm not sure
Yeah.
we did that far.
We watched once in a while and saw some of that.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
They did at least gradually enough because clearly Niles was smitten with her for quite some time, but they didn't rush it. So
Yeah. Definitely.
No, but then it went on too long. Also, I do.
well, the
remember
show
that.
most shows go on too long as long as there's
No,
money
I
to be
mean,
made.
I mean the whole romance. They should
show
have
has
just
already
gone
gone
on for it instead.
I think the
of-
show went on a little too
dragging
long
it.
too, though. I just think it's very few shows end when they're on top or near the top, just because there's still too much money to be made.
All right, we'll stop the show right now. Let's go.
Yeah. We'll stop Seinfeld after 4 seasons. We've made enough money.
I think this show has already peaked. I'm just
Jared
It also because of the sort of formulaic sitcom aspect of it, it's not a good bingeable show in my opinion. You really the sameness of the episodes does jump out a bit if you watch more than about 2 episodes a day.
yeah.
And usually, if it's not a to be continued, there's no reason to tune into the next one.
Yeah.
I don't see myself continuing watching Frasier after this. It was interesting.
I might watch 1 or 2 more just because
Okay.
there are a couple when I was looking up episodes I'm curious about, but then I'll stop.
I mean, you have the microphone, Eric. Don't you like seeing your microphone? You could tell people that's the actual
You can
microphone.
see it. It's
you
right here. I don't need to watch
Yeah.
TV to see it.
You could tell people that's the actual one. You won it on eBay.
Actually, Frasier's microphone. No, this is Roz's microphone.
Yeah.
That's the one I'd rather have. Would be Roz's.
You know, Roz was almost Lisa Kudrow. Did you know that?
Yeah.
What?
She was actually cast in the role,
She could have done it.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was her and Perry Gilpin, and Kudrow was cast because her line readings were funnier. But during rehearsals, the show's creator that felt that Kudrow just needed to play Roz, and so she was let go.
So is that your internet connection doing that, or is this the new microphone? Did
You
everyone-
sort of drop out about every couple minutes for
Yeah, Dan
like
dropped
2 or
out
3
every-
seconds.
I don't know. I keep
Yeah,
hearing
like
stuttering
verbal.
from you guys. Is anybody else stuttering, or is that just me hearing that?
Everyone else
Just
sounds
you.
fine to me. It's just you.
It's just you. Every once in a while, you go into a very weird place.
Yeah, most of the time you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Even before we started, when it was just you and I. It was like that.
Yeah.
I've been, yeah.
at least some of the time, you're fine. No, I'm kidding.
But if
There it is.
Oh, so just your hand freezes, not your head?
Just
and there I go.
his hand is buffering.
I can hear construction going on in my office,
Oh.
and I think maybe that's something that's affecting the internet.
That could be.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, we don't have to rate this, but we do have to pick the next one, right?
No, I mean, I have been tracking whether people are going to continue watching or if they feel like they're pretty good with what they've consumed.
Oh, that's
so far.
right.
So we can do that really quick. Dan, where do you think you are? Are you going to be watching more Frasier in the future? All right.
Yeah.
Amanda,
I think it's a good show. It's well written.
Amanda, have you seen enough Frasier for one life?
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing where, like, if I was somewhere else and it were on, I would not like avoid watching the TV. But there's so many other things that I would choose to put on for
There's
myself.
something you're
I
going
have
to-
no desire to. Yeah, there's. I
you
want to watch a
figured out-
sitcom.
Dave,
There's
you're going to watch a little bit more?
I might watch like 2 or 3 more, like maybe ones that have an interesting guest star, or
Yeah.
that Christmas episode we tried to watch and couldn't find, something
It
like
seems to
that.
be on Hulu just fine if you want to watch it on Hulu.
How about you, Stacy and Wade? What do you think? Are you going to keep watching from Frasier, or you had enough?
We could probably watch a few more here and there if we're desperate for something to watch.
I mean, you're talking what, 24 episodes times 11 seasons, so you're talking a lot of shows.
There's a lot of shows in there.
Yeah, we would just probably randomly throw one on,
Nice.
but not.
We watched a few of the ones that had people from Cheers guest starring on, and it was kind of interesting.
And
Well, with
here's
Woody.
about here's your high praise from Adam. He's good with watching more, but it's not because it's not an awful show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, now I have to do some work. I have no idea where we stand with the wheel of TV. So give me a moment.
It's weird that we did Frasier before Cheers.
Let me see. It was Brittany, Dan, Dave,
I don't think so.
and Amanda and Scott have chosen series in this thing. So I think we're down to just writers. It's going to be a writer wheel.
Wow.
Oh, we picked one. We each picked one.
A while back.
Recently?
No, not in this. Oh, Wade did. Wade, no, that was before. Wade picked it right before we reset the wheel.
Yeah,
So neither one of you have had a chance to choose a TV series for this.
Yeah, because Stacy did Wild Wild West, but that was a while ago.
Did my mom pick one?
And Wade did Dairy Girls. So
That's right.
you guys are, if you both, assuming. Oh, and Adam,
hasn't picked a TV
Adam
show.
has not picked a TV series in this.
Has my mom picked one in a while?
I feel like she did.
I don't know. I got you. As I said,
I don't remember his mom picking anything.
let me see. No.
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh, your mom has not picked a TV series.
She said no a couple of times when you
That's
asked.
true. Does your mom want to pick
Yeah.
it?
She considered picking Murder, She Wrote at one point, I remember, when she picked something else instead.
I am asking if she wants. We'll see
You're
what
gonna
she
find out if she's
And
in.
I can ask her too. She can always respond.
Well, there you go.
She says she will watch more Frasier,
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad.
and she gave me a show to pick if I get picked, but I don't think I'm eligible.
No,
She
you're
gave
out.
you a show to pick if
So
you
put
get
her on
picked.
there, and I know what show she'll pick.
Okay.
All right, so we'll put her on the wheel too. All right.
The power behind.
Well,
It's so exciting.
I was expecting a really bad video of me, but thank you for not putting that there.
Well, hold on. No, I'm kidding. Well, since you brought it up,
The rerun.
all right, I'm going to shuffle this thing,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to give this little spinny spin, a little black box.
Which of these 4 people do I trust the most? It's
Well,
Wade.
How do you feel about Wade? Coming off of Dairy Girls.
So I was looking last month. I was thinking doing Burn Notice,
yeah.
and
I watched the first few seasons of that. Then at some point I
That's what
stopped.
I was going to say just the first season if it was only going to be a month, but if it's going to be 2 months,
Watch the whole dang thing.
whatever you want to watch. Because it does kind of each season kind of builds on the last season.
Yeah, it's not a strict story arc, but there's definitely stuff that
There's some arc to it, yeah.
changes.
I know
Yeah,
nothing about Burn Notice. It just
Same.
sounds like people getting third-degree.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed enough to watch several seasons.
Is it streaming though? Because
That's always the question. Yeah.
I
Put it up right
I
now.
think it's on Prime because I think
It
when I
says Prime.
looked-
It's probably Freevee. Yeah, it's on Freevee.
Well, Trial and Error is streaming now.
Hey, nice.
Oh, that would be a great one to pick sometime.
glad you remembered.
Season 1 of Trial and Error is impressive.
I didn't remember. I was like, what's he
About
gonna
season
say?
1 of the Michael Richards show. It's 5 episodes.
Woo.
That'd be an easy one. That'd be an easy watch.
Season 1 of Andy Barker PI.
No.
So it is on Prime, isn't it?
Yeah, freebie.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Cool.
No, there you
Agree
go.
with that. There you go.
Now those are not with commercials. Those are hour-long episodes, though, right?
Or
Yeah.
it is on Hulu, which we all know that you can get for 99 cents a month.
Yeah,
Yeah, for a
that's
year.
cool.
So you have a year to watch Burn Notice.
Oh my god, you can watch all 7 seasons of Burn Notice.
Is it 7 seasons?
There are 7 seasons.
I thought there were 4.
I think I watched either 2 or 3, and then it wasn't that I deliberately stopped. I just never got into the next season.
Burn
It's only like
Notice.
12 episodes a season, though.
Yeah.
Did you notice you've been burnt? No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Six,
Yeah, you
seven,
definitely have to watch the first one so you understand.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Guy gets his mail. What's this? It's a
Yeah.
notice.
What network was that on originally?
You've been
USA.
burned.
Oh, that's another USA.
Yeah.
So it's like Suits.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Rizzoli and Isle.
Suits. I'm almost done with Suits. I was a little upset with Netflix because they only have 8 seasons, and then for the 9th season, you've got to go to Peacock, who has all 9 seasons of Suits, because it is a Universal production.
Mhm.
Well, if it's Universal, you should be able to watch it for free, like Universal Healthcare.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I just noticed. I wasn't looking. Did you put the comment up about Adam with 99 cents? So Hulu's 99 cents with ads?
Oh,
Yeah, it's with ads.
Oh,
Ah,
well, there was ads on.
There's ads on everything.
Was it on Frasier or we had ads, didn't we?
What were we watching it on?
On Hulu.
We should have ads like every 10 minutes on EriDan. Just all of a sudden the video pauses and an
Yeah.
ad comes up for the EriVan or something. I noticed there's 15% off right now on the EriDan shop.
Is that
Yes.
Cyber Monday?
Cyber Monday sale.
I had no idea.
And if you need a large red sweatshirt of the EriDan, the same one Wade's wearing, same logo,
Yeah.
I have a large that I bought for Josh. Never fit him. We were cleaning out his closet, and there it was, brand new, never worn. Obviously, I can't return it.
It's a collector's
Put it
item.
up on eBay, man.
Here we go.
Covert intelligence operative Michael Weston has been punched, kicked, choked, and shot. And now he's received a burn notice blacklisting him from the intelligence community and compromising his very identity.
Well, spoiler.
Track down a faceless nemesis without getting himself killed while doubling as a private investigator.
Googling.
Doobling.
That's doobling.
Do you? I don't, because again, I didn't finish the series. Did they have a chance to end that show?
Yes.
Did they have a? They did. Okay.
It ended.
That AI voice was named Daniel.
But I thought you said you only thought there were 4 seasons, Stacy.
Well, that's what I thought there were.
No, I remember.
Oh, okay, but you did watch the whole thing.
We watched the whole thing. I just thought it was
Okay.
4. I
Okay.
couldn't remember.
Well, if you
It
did
felt
22
like-
episodes, it
I
was probably.
have seen shows where they tried to end the show and then they didn't expect to be picked up for another season, then they did, and they have to sort of stretch it out. That's always fun.
They ended it. It was done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. A burn notice. This is your burn notice. You've been burned.
What was that? An AI?
That was an AI voice named Daniel.
Okay.
It was made with aluminium.
It was doubling as a private investigator.
It was in Dublin.
It was supposed to say doubling, but it's in doubling.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
All right, so add that to my Amazon queue.
Well, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That was fast.
You want
Boom.
to talk about what else? I've been watching a lot
Ooh.
when I was not watching Frasier, so we can do one of these. Okay, so I watched the Has Fallen trilogy. The Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and Angel Has Fallen trilogy. Starring
There's Gerard Butler Has Fallen and Can't Get Up. There's
Help is on the way, Mrs.
lots of explosions and random shooting and government excitement with the and a lot of Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, I've only seen the first two.
You know what's funny? Josh and I went and saw Angel Has Fallen.
Yeah.
Had no idea it was part 3.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Well, they all have pretty much the same plot, so it's not like you missed much.
Yeah, and then we went back and watched the other 2. But we actually went and saw it in the movie theater.
If you like watching stuff getting blown up and people getting shot, it's a lovely series.
Okay.
There's lots of planes. There's lots of lots of planes, lots of helicopters.
The first one especially has a very die-hard feel to it. The guy trapped inside,
yes,
who's sort of sneaking around while the bad guys are trying to locate them, and
it's all very die-hard by the numbers. Absolutely. And Adam's saying that he did not enjoy the sequels. To me, they're all about the same. It's just all fine. These are perfect examples of movies that you can have on while you're doing anything else. You could totally be doing your taxes and having this on and being like, okay, fine.
So, is Scott going to show up next week for his half of the double feature?
Well, he's in rehearsals all week. I don't think the play will be happening next week, so he probably will be here.
Okay.
I thought it was the 1st through the 10th.
Yeah, but it's not every day.
Oh, I thought it was.
No.
Okay.
Not in a row.
So weekends only, I think.
Oh, okay. That was confusing then.
I definitely do want to watch the live action Year Without a Santa Claus after I watch the animated one, just to see how bad it is.
Oh yeah. It's worth it. It's worth it.
I turned on ER for the first time in 30 years.
Georgia Clooney.
It was just as good as I remembered it being then. I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I guess so.
I watched the first one. I said Reagan has to watch this. I think she'd like it because it's pretty realistic. That's what I remembered about it. It was they did a pretty good job with the medical procedures and that. So she watched it with us, and she liked it a little bit. I think she watched another episode. I think she's the one who watched the next episode when I was at work. So
Adam says they released a movie around the same time as Olympus Has Fallen with almost the same plot, with Jamie Foxx as president and Channing Tatum as secret. Was that White House?
Yeah, I can't remember what movie that was, but I remember it. Yeah.
It
became very much an action movie trope. The guy trapped inside. The only hope for the president's daughter or for some person who's trapped. He's got to save the day.
White House Down.
Yeah, that's it.
It was called.
Well, it's almost the same plot as Sudden Death with Jean-Claude Van Damme, because they had the vice president at the Penguins game, and his kid got stuck in the building.
So many tropes. So many
He's got to
tropes.
save the day. We were trying to watch
Somebody
a Christmas
does.
movie when Josh was visiting, and every Christmas movie, I'm like, it's the exact same story. Someone comes home from the big city, and they see their friends from the small town, and they see their old boyfriend.
Left a good job in the city.
Isn't that what Christmas is all about?
Eric, you and I have to write a very Hanukkah Christmas.
That's right. Forgot about it.
I think that's the movie.
There it is. So I'm imagining that somebody's protecting the White House on Hanukkah.
Our first Jewish president.
Right, exactly. Bruce Willis is trapped inside the ventilator shaft of the White House.
I did watch Christmas Vacation and loved not watching it again.
Wow.
We did start to watch Die Hard, and my family consensus is it is a Christmas movie
No.
We just started to watch it. How can they have a consensus?
because they didn't finish. We've seen it before. We also started watching Titanic. Didn't finish. it.
No spoilers.
It sounds like your family is having commitment issues.
It's called being tired and falling asleep. And
All right.
Actually,
I'm almost done with Suits, and I'll give a full recap next week.
All right. I watched.
Actually, I'll be flying to Atlanta next week. Now that I think about it.
Uh-oh.
No, in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'll be flying to Atlanta. I'll get Wi-Fi on the plane.
All right. I watched a wonderfully terrible movie that I will tell you all about because I'm not sure I would actually ever suggest this for us to watch, which is Be Kind, Rewind. An amazingly bad movie. And here's the synopsis that makes sense. 2 bumbling store clerks inadvertently erase the footage from all their tapes in the rental store. In order to keep the business running, they reshoot every film in the store with their own camera with a budget of $0.
How do you accidentally do that to every movie?
Don't think it. Don't overthink it.
You can set off an EMP.
Big magnet.
It takes 35 minutes to get to the plot. First 30 minutes are really painful. Like it's really bad. But then you do get some unbelievably classic moments for the next hour. It's not a super long movie. It's an hour and 40 minutes. And the last hour I really enjoyed. I don't think most people will. But if you're up for something different, I would absolutely recommend this movie.
Wait, Jack Black, Danny Glover, Mia Farrow, and Sigourney Weaver.
Yes. Oh yeah, tons of real people in this movie. You know, Mos Def and Jack Black.
A movie with real people.
Yeah. And currently with a 65 critic score and a 56 audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
I've seen worse. We've seen a lot worse.
We've definitely seen worse. You know, I think it would do better here than Who's That Girl, but not by much.
It's not saying anything.
But I had a really good time watching it.
Well, there you go.
You're up for something different. Something you hadn't seen. 2008. Be Kind, Rewind. You know. As the USA Today describes it, takes a clever concept and cobbles a weak story around it.
Good.
One of the San Francisco Chronicle says thick stew of awful.
Well, I mean, to some degree, there were episodes of the first few seasons of the Goldbergs that were basically that, where Adam Goldberg is shooting his version of Back to the Future or his version of Star Wars.
It's got moments. I just have to. It just has moments. Like it's not good, but it's so good. Yeah,
I might watch it.
Honestly, I laughed.
You'll start it.
You know.
Exactly. I'll definitely start it.
You'll watch the first 30 minutes and say, I don't like this movie.
Yeah, you got to get to the meat of the story, which is
when the magnets come out.
Yeah.
We meant to rewind the movies, but it accidentally put them through a magnetron.
Interestingly, speaking of, I was thinking maybe magnets made me think of EMP and the fact that they're actually using that in Ukraine. Kelsey Grammer is one of those rare, very right-wing Republicans in Hollywood who's, he's not a fan of Trump's, but he's still supported him because he's such a right-wing in his beliefs. He has said nice things about Putin. He has said comments about doubting the existence of real climate change. He's an interesting fellow.
There's a lot of talk that he said the reason he had to do the reboot was no one would hire him for anything.
Oh,
He was basically done. So he's okay because
He was making $700,000 an episode for the original series that ran 11 seasons. He should have pocketed 9 figures from that show. He shouldn't need to find a new job.
Narcissists need to work.
Yeah.
I guess.
Dan,
He was
Dan,
in the Jesus.
But he can afford to produce his own shows if he wants to, unless he's blown his
Yeah.
money.
Jesus movie.
Yeah, the Jesus Revolution,
Revolution,
and he did some other stuff. He's been working.
Adam says Tim Allen's super right wing too.
That's a good point. Tim Allen is, yeah.
James
Oh,
Wood.
and of course, Kirk Cameron, but he's a C-lister.
All right.
well, that's
Well, we
exciting.
knew it would be a
Cool.
short show.
Yep.
Short night.
Made much shorter by Scott not being here.
Yeah,
Oh, he goes on and on and on.
Well, it's just, I'm sure he would have had comments since it was his show, though.
what is
I would
it?
hope.
Yeah, you would think.
Mhm.
You would. I try to think, anyway.
Mhm.
Oh, I hung up a little bit there. Sorry about that.
Hmm?
No.
But
I
there's
think
a
we've run
show-
out of things to say.
There is a movie that my mom watched.
The whole show?
Have you guys
That
heard?
might be.
Huh?
What? Huh?
There's a movie.
He
We're not-
was making a joke about you're not finishing films.
Right. And I was looking at it. No new clutch soon. It's called
He doesn't. Dan doesn't even remember the name of his own show.
Car Yada, Adam, not clutch.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, that
Robbie's
just
up
rolls
to
off the tongue.
3 more weeks, and then we'll probably start doing them again.
There's a scene from.
Oh my god!
Nice.
Tom is that little teaser might get you interested in watching Be Kind Rewind.
That's funny.
It's very
We're not-
reminiscent of old EriDan footage. Is all I can say.
And I think that's why you enjoy it, because it's something just like Adam Goldberg
Mhm.
used to do that.
Yeah.
Totally.
You-
EriDan had a bigger budget.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, because did you say you never watched the Goldbergs, Eric?
I still have never watched the.
Yeah.
Goldberg.
Oh my
Because-
god!
First
The
three-
the first 4 to 5 seasons, approximately, they have a lot of Adam Goldberg's
Like,
original videotapes that they will show clips from at the end of the show. Like they'll have an episode about him shooting his version of Back to the Future. And then at the end, they'll show like 20 seconds of his actual videotape that he recorded when he was 12 years old
It's
of
amazing.
him doing, and they are hysterical.
And I used to say, Eric used to do this.
yeah, I did stuff. We did
I know. I did that. Reagan just confirmed that I used to say that when we watched the Goldbergs. I'm like, oh, Eric used to do that.
I
Now
still
he
do that.
knows.
I still do that. I just don't put the videos in.
So why is Reagan shunning us anyway?
Reagan just got home from work.
Okay.
Mm.
I see. So work's more
He
important
didn't-
than this.
She didn't really like Frasier. She didn't like the laugh tracks.
Oh.
It wasn't a laugh track. That was a live audience.
Well, that makes it even worse, I guess.
How does she feel about French subtitles?
French subtitles.
I think they sweetened it a little bit, but I actually have to. I understand what she's saying because I thought the first episode the laughs were a little over the top. So I actually looked up to see if they used a laugh track, and no, it was a live audience.
Oh, that was I think the only one she really watched. So
It's a live audience, but they do record that audience doing fake
Oh, yeah,
laughter.
they can goose it as much as they want.
Yeah, they have extra of what they
professional
need.
laughers.
Professional laughers.
Well, no, what they do is beforehand they go, okay, I want to test everybody. All right, everybody groan real quick. We want to test the microphones, is what they say.
So we should do that for
okay.
EriDan now. Let's
Yeah.
record some sound effects for Eric's future videos.
The groaning worked. Okay, let's get a small laughter. Let's do bigger. Okay, applause, and they just record all that so it matches that particular audience. Exactly.
Oh,
Just use
Yeah.
that.
and let's doff our hats. Marty Croft died.
Oh,
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
And it just
That's why the
stops.
flags are at half mast.
Yep. The death of Marty Croft.
No.
Yeah.
Adam says,
Yeah,
imagine
you-
taping a sitcom in front of a live audience and getting no laughs. They make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah. I guess we should doff our lid in honor of Marty Krofft, actually.
There you go.
Dan Reagan said she laughed pretty hard at yours.
Well, there you go.
See?
All right. Next Monday.
Oh,
Yeah, so we're gonna watch.
we're gonna watch that.
Oh, yeah, you do. Get your reading glasses ready for.
It's very dark.
French subtitles.
It's a
Wait,
little
you mean
dark.
it's dark like the movie's dark, or it's
No, like there's not much light.
okay? Yeah.
It's all it's all filmed at night.
Okay.
It was filmed by two guys who ran a video store, so
Exactly. They're recreating.
Yeah.
movie.
All righty. We have
and
our
the Year
work
Without a
done.
Santa Claus. Don't forget that.
And
Oh, I
the Year
won't
Without
forget
Santa
that.
Claus.
I know that one.
Much more
Yeah.
exciting.
We own that one.
Same.
Yeah.
1974's 1974. Yeah, 1974.
It is interesting how all these, because you had Sid and Marty Krofft, you had Rankin Bass. There were always these pairings that did these series of TV shows and movies for so many years.
I
Well, now Stacey won't even look at us.
I'm looking at my kid. Sorry. No, because I know the Year Without a Santa Claus. That was my very favorite. I told you last week, and then it was only on one time.
I do love Shirley Booth because I loved Hazel. I
So
loved
do I.
Hazel.
it's not my favorite.
And then,
Hazel was after school viewing for me.
And then I only watched it at my grandma's. We didn't get it at home. And then Heat Miser, and I talked about it in college to a friend of mine, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" No, nobody had any idea what I was talking about. And I'm like, "Did I dream this show?"
Did you put brown socks on your ears and go to a costume party as a dog?
I did not. But then the videotape was at Staples when Wade worked there, and he bought it for me. I was so excited.
I'm watching a clip of the most important song in this movie.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite. This is my least favorite part of this movie.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I don't like that part either, but it's a good one.
It's a good movie, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that part of it's a little disposable. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do without, but this one is my favorite. Like,
It's really good. I love that one too.
I will watch that one every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we own that as well.
It's
Well,
fun.
it's
Muppet
Emma.
Family Christmas is a must-watch in our house too.
Which one?
The Muppet Family Christmas,
The
not Muppet's
Fam-
Christmas Carol. Muppet Family Christmas.
Oh, I don't know that one. I love Muppet Christmas Carol. Oh, I love it.
So next week we will talk about these two movies, and we'll pick one additional movie to go with Brittany's choice, which she apparently has chosen but has not told us yet. So
Oh, cool.
So we will do that, and we will continue our holiday cavalcade
Woo!
of madness as we get into December 2023. All right. Well, I hope you all have a lovely week.
Cool.
And get back to work. And we'll see you back here next Monday.
Peace.
Yeah, boy.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.